Feel like your life is about to spin out of control. Like 1 minute things are normal, the next you're caught in a whirlwind of family drama
Yeah.
and a mystery that spans generations.
Oh, absolutely. It's like that feeling when you stumble upon a long-lost family secret and suddenly everything you thought you knew is called into question.
Well, that's exactly the situation our protagonist, Tori, finds herself in. Get ready to unpack a story filled with stolen diamonds, long-held secrets, and the kind of family drama that would make even the most picture-perfect Instagram feed seem, well, kind of boring.
Oh, this is going to be good.
And the best part, it all unfolds against the backdrop of a little something we all know a little too well, the pandemic.
Pandemic, yeah. Talk about a time of upheaval and uncertainty. The perfect breeding ground for secrets to surface, right?
Exactly. So picture this. New York City, smack dab in the middle of lockdown. Tori's parents are on the verge of a messy divorce. You know, the kind where the tension is so thick, you practically need a chainsaw to cut through it.
Ouch. Been there. Felt that.
Yeah, not a pretty picture. They're packing up, getting ready to leave the city, and poor Tori is stuck right in the middle of it all. Canceled plans, the constant tech meltdowns, that feeling of being trapped with your family when you'd rather be, well, anywhere else. You know the feeling, right?
Like being stuck in a pressure cooker. Yeah, I get it. It's a recipe for disaster, for sure.
Exactly. But just when you think it can't get any more chaotic, things take a turn. A turn for the seriously intriguing. Tori overhears a phone call. It's her dad, a reporter, and he's whispering about something called the desert sun.
The desert sun. That sounds familiar.
Right. It's not just some random desert mirage. This desert sun is a diamond. And not just any diamond. We're talking legendary gem with a past as sparkly as it is shady.
Oh, wow. Now we're talking. See, whenever you hear about famous diamonds, it's never just about their size or clarity. It's the stories they carry, the whispers of curses, the connections to royalty and scandal. They have this almost mythical aura.
And the desert sun is no exception. We're talking a gem that's rumored to have been coveted by everyone from emperors to, well, let's just say some less than savory characters.
It's like that saying, if these diamonds could talk, oh, the stories they would tell.
Right. But here's where Tori's story and this legendary diamond collide. Remember that phone call? The one that piqued her interest? Well, it sends her down a rabbit hole of internet searches, and she stumbles upon an article that rocks her world.
Uh-oh, this sounds ominous.
To say the least. The article details the infamous theft of the desert sun. And guess who the prime suspect is?
Let me guess. Someone she's related to.
Bingo. It's none other than Victor, Tori's grandfather. Talk about a family tree with a twist.
Wow, that's quite the discovery, especially when you're already dealing with the emotional turmoil of your parents' divorce. It makes you question everything you thought you knew about your family.
Right. 1 minute you're trying to navigate the choppy waters of your parents' impending separation. The next, you're staring at an article accusing your own flesh and blood of being some master jewel thief. It's enough to give anyone whiplash.
Seriously. So what does Tori do? I mean, how do you even process that kind of information?
Well, for Tori, it's not just the shock, though that's definitely a big part of it. It's the anger, the betrayal of being kept in the dark for all these years. Like her family history just exploded, leaving her to pick up the pieces.
It makes you wonder, what else haven't they told her?
Exactly. And that article, it becomes her guide, her roadmap through this wreckage of her family history. It lays out the details of the crime, the aftermath of the heist, and how Victor's life, along with his wife Louise's, Tori's grandmother, were turned completely upside down.
It's one thing to read about a jewel theft in the news. It's another to find out your own family was at the center of it all.
Exactly. And this wasn't just some open and shut case. This was a scandal, one that sent shockwaves through their lives, leaving a trail of unanswered questions and what-ifs in its wake.
Okay, but was Victor actually guilty? Or was he framed? Was he in the wrong place at the wrong time? There's got to be more to the story.
See, that's the million-dollar question, isn't it? It's easy to jump to conclusions, to slap a label on someone, especially when the evidence seems so stacked against them. But the human experience, it's rarely that simple.
For sure. And what's even more interesting is that Victor, he wasn't just some random guy. He was a gemologist. He worked with gems for a living.
Exactly. He understood their value, their rarity.
Yeah.
So for him to be accused of stealing something as legendary as the desert sun, it just doesn't add up.
It's like a chef being accused of stealing someone's appetite. It makes no sense. It deepens the mystery.
Right. So there we have it. A family secret. A missing diamond. And a grandfather who may or may not be a master thief.
Yeah.
Tori's world has been turned upside down.
Talk about a recipe for some serious family drama. I'm on the edge of my seat. What happens next?
So last we left our intrepid protagonist, Tori, she was reeling. I mean, who wouldn't be? This whole family secret thing, it's a lot to process.
It's like finding out your family history is straight out of a heist movie, only it's real life. Talk about a reality check.
Right. And remember, she's already dealing with the emotional earthquake that is her parents' divorce.
Oh, yeah, that's right. Talk about adding fuel to the fire.
Totally. So what does Tori do with this bombshell revelation? Well, she does what any self-respecting teenager on the edge would do. She confronts her dad.
Oh, here we go. I can only imagine how this conversation goes down.
Buckle up. Because it is not pretty. It's like watching years of unspoken tension, resentment, everything just boil over. This raw, emotional confrontation. It's almost hard to listen to.
It makes you think about the weight of secrets, you know? How holding on to them, even with good intentions, can create these rifts in families.
Absolutely. And I think it's important to remember that for Tori, this isn't just about a stolen diamond. It's about trust, or the lack thereof. It's about feeling betrayed by the people who are supposed to love you unconditionally, to be honest with you, no matter what.
I get it. It's like finding out a core memory is built on a lie, and you have to grapple with the emotional fallout.
Right. And her dad, he's grappling with his own demons from that time. The weight of this secret of protecting his father's legacy, it's a lot to carry.
Especially when you're trying to navigate being a parent yourself.
Yeah.
It's a lose-lose situation.
Totally. It's that classic dilemma, isn't it? How much do we owe our parents, especially when their choices have directly impacted our lives?
Right. Where do loyalty and honesty intersect, and where do you draw the line? Heavy stuff.
No kidding. But just as this confrontation reaches its peak, just when you think things can't get more intense, the story throws us a curveball.
Well,
Tori's phone. Because when does technology not pick the worst possible moment to die?
it dies.
No!
Ooh, the suspense is killing me.
Right. But here's the thing. Right before the screen goes dark, Tori experiences something strange, like a vision or hallucination. It's not entirely clear.
Ooh, this is getting interesting. Okay, but is it just a stress-induced hallucination? You know, her mind's way of coping with this overload of information and emotions.
That's the million-dollar question, isn't it? Or could it be something more? Could there be some deeper connection to the past, something almost inherited? Like, what if the trauma of Victor's experience, this whole ordeal with the diamond, has somehow seeped into Tori's subconscious?
Whoa, you're talking about inherited trauma. That's some deep stuff. The idea that the experiences of our ancestors, especially traumatic ones, can leave a mark on us even generations later.
Exactly. It's like this echo of the past reverberating through the family line. And Tori, she's caught right in the middle of it.
Ugh.
So much to unpack here. We've got inherited trauma, mysterious visions, and a family secret that's more tangled than a ball of yarn after, well, you know, a cat's gotten to it. I am dying to know what happens next.
Right. It's like the author just threw a grenade into the story and walked away. You know what else is interesting? How the diamond, this desert sun, it's practically another character.
It really is, isn't it? It's like this looming presence, even though it's, you know, physically missing.
Exactly. It represents beauty, wealth, all that glitters. But then there's this dark side, the history, the theft, the way it's torn this family apart.
It's like a metaphor for the family itself. Like on the surface, everything seems perfect, but underneath, there's this turmoil, this hidden legacy. And speaking of hidden legacies, what about Tori's grandmother, Louise? We talked about Victor, Tori's dad, but she was right there in the thick of it too. What was her experience like?
That's such an important point. We often forget about the spouses, the partners, the ones who stand by their loved ones, even when things get messy. What choices did she make? What did she know? I'd love to be a fly on the wall in that house.
Right. Talk about an untold story. It makes you wonder about the weight she carried, the secrets she might have kept.
It's a good reminder that everyone has a story, a perspective. And sometimes those hidden stories are the most revealing.
So where does that leave us? We have a family grappling with a legacy of secrets, a missing diamond, and a young woman who may hold the key to unraveling it all.
And that's the beauty of a story like this. We're left with questions. Was Victor really guilty? What was Tori's vision all about? What would you do if you were in her shoes?
Right. Would you dig deeper? Try to find out the truth about your family and this infamous diamond? Or would you try to move on, protect yourself from the potential fallout?
It's that age-old dilemma. To unearth the past or let it lie buried. Sometimes the most captivating mysteries are the ones we never fully solve.
It makes you think about the choices we make, the secrets we keep, and the ripple effects they have on our lives and the lives of those around us. On that note, we'll leave you to ponder the mysteries of the desert sun and the enduring power of family secrets. Until next time, keep diving deep, and remember, sometimes the most fascinating discoveries hit closer to home than you think.